She'd seen the daughter's vindictive side before, but this was too much. Other people started distancing themselves too. The daughter's book club disbanded when half the members stopped showing up. Her yoga instructor asked her to find a different studio. Even the grocery store clerk, who'd always been friendly, started avoiding eye contact. Then something amazing happened. I got a voicemail from the admissions office at State University saying they were reconsidering my application. They'd received new information about my suspension and wanted to schedule a phone interview. It wasn't a guarantee, but it was the first good news I'd had in weeks. My mom cried when I played the message for her. The next day, the Pierce family's lawyer called Nadine with a settlement offer. They would pay for my entire college education if I dropped the lawsuit and signed an NDA preventing me from ever discussing the incident publicly. Nadine said it was a decent offer financially, but warned that taking it meant they'd never admit wrongdoing. She said I should think about whether the money was worth letting them escape accountability. I spent hours going back and forth about what to do. That same week, my mom's boss called her into his office. He apologized for cutting her hours after the incident and admitted he'd been influenced by the gossip around town. He offered her extra shifts to make up for the lost income and gave her a small raise. He said he'd been wrong to take sides without knowing the full story. Mom accepted his apology, but I could tell she didn't fully trust him anymore. The whole town was choosing sides now, and relationships that had lasted years were falling apart over this mess. 3 days later, my phone rang at 6 in the morning with Nadine's number showing up. She told me to check the news immediately because something happened at the Pierce house overnight. I pulled up the local news site, and there it was, a photo of their front porch with a plastic bag sitting by the door. The article said someone left peanuts with a note that said Karma has allergies too, and the family was treating it as a threat. The cops were already at my house by 7, asking where I was last night. I showed them my work schedule and the security footage from my job that proved I was there until midnight. They still acted like I was guilty, and said the Pierce family wanted to press charges for harassment. Nadine showed up while they were still questioning me, and told them to leave unless they had actual evidence. The whole thing made me look worse, even though I had nothing to do with it. 2 weeks later, Ella got called in for her deposition about the original incident. Nadine let me sit in the room while she testified, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Ella admitted she grabbed my arm that day because everyone else was freaking out, and she got caught up in the panic. She said looking back, she realized I was just as confused as everyone else, and she felt bad for immediately blaming me. Her testimony was recorded, and Nadine said it would help our case since Ella was one of the first people to accuse me. The school board met again the following week, and finally did something useful. They announced new rules for substitute teachers that required them to submit verified medical documentation about any allergies before they could start working. The principal sent out an email saying this would prevent future incidents, and I wanted to scream that it was too late for me. It was a tiny victory, but at least they admitted their system was broken. Then, I heard through the grapevine that Mrs. M. Pierce was coming back to work, but not at the high school. They assigned her to the elementary school instead, which seemed insane to me. Parents started complaining immediately because little kids eat peanut butter all the time and can't be expected to wash their hands perfectly. The PTA had an emergency meeting where people argued about whether someone that allergic should be around kindergartners at all. My mom came home from the grocery store saying she overheard 2 moms saying Mrs. Pierce was